We're back with the case of Jamie Banks. So if you haven't seen the first part, basically we went through all the documents and we still have objective 1 to solve. I'll do my best to summarize things and then hopefully we can finally solve objective 1. So here we have our suspects and our witnesses, and I would say it breaks down into 3 main groups. We have the connection through the school newspaper, we have the connection through the drama club, and then we have this connection involved with sports betting. So Jamie was a reporter for the school newspaper, the Verona Voice. Dr. Benjamin Gelding was the school counselor and also the teacher advisor to the newspaper club. And Craig Zimmerman was the editor of the newspaper who wrote a really bad review. And that review was Jamie's performance in Romeo and Juliet because she was also part of the drama club. Olivia Underwood, who is another suspect, was her understudy as the role of Juliet. Robert Romero played the role of Romeo. He was also the first one to find the body, but he's just a witness in this case. And Paul Preakness, who's also a suspect, taught the drama club. Then we have Johnny Roca, who was the star running back for the football team, and his girlfriend Sophie Sunday, and they are both suspects. Johnny Roca is apparently close with Joy Ferrari, who is the school bookie, and apparently they were running bets on the football games. So the night of Jamie's death was the state championship game in which they were expected to win, but Johnny Roca had one of the worst games of his life, possibly intentionally. The theory is that he threw the game so that they can get some money. Sophie, who's Johnny's girlfriend, would apparently do anything to cover up so that his future is bright. And apparently Jamie and Johnny used to date 2 years ago, so there could be a bit of jealousy involved. And before she passed away, there was a secret relationship that Jamie was in that she couldn't tell because people would get hurt. And then the principal isn't really connected to anything. She just kind of was there. I don't know what she did actually. So we'll definitely get more into these connections, hopefully even narrowing it down. But now I guess I can review some of the leads I have. So for the leads, there are some things that I mentioned in the video. There's also some things I noticed after filming, and I thought I would just include it here and just give a brief summary. So of course, allegedly she jumped from the 6th floor window of the newspaper room, and Joy was in the newspaper room during first period. And the time that she allegedly jumped was third period, the same time that everyone was in the gym taking this photo. Of course, all the suspects are missing from this photo, which is why they're suspects. And then there was this whole thing about Dr. Gelding leaving all his hall passes in the newspaper room the day before. And Joy mentions that he had a pass. So I thought that was a little suspicious, that how would he have been able to get a pass if Dr. Gelding left them all in the newspaper room. And then another key factor is that Joy left the room unlocked. So even though there was a limited number of people with keys, anyone could have accessed it because it was unlocked. Next, we get to this typed confession. So another thing Joey did was he left the computer logged in. So next thing is something I didn't mention in the first video, but I noticed afterwards, is that there's this whole thing about a typing class that Jamie and Olivia were in, specifically that they took a caps lock test. Jamie passed with 100%, so the message was also in all caps. The pressure was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. Goodbye, Jamie. So it was a little weird that was in all caps. I didn't notice at first because I thought it was an old computer and that's just how it was. But then you can see the menus under that they're also undercase. So if Jamie wrote it, maybe she wouldn't have wrote it in all caps because she would have known how to use that feature. I don't know. It might be insignificant. It might be the whole thing. It might be the answer to objective 1. That's probably my strongest lead to solving objective 1, but let's just go through the rest of the leads. So for the sports betting, Joy Ferrari is the bookie. He has a pretty close relationship with Johnny because we can see in the school newspaper that he was planning a trip with him to Atlantic City. Jamie was going to write an expose and it could possibly be about this sports betting. So it leads to a motive for Johnny. Obviously, he would get into a lot of trouble, but also for Sophie because she's always wanting to cover for Johnny. She says things like she wants to make sure that, nothing gets in the way of his future. So next thing now is this forbidden relationship where Jamie told Dr. Gelding she had to keep it a secret, otherwise a lot of people would get hurt. She kind of said something to Craig too, that she couldn't tell him because people would get hurt. Craig, of course, being the editor who wrote the horrible review because he revealed he had feelings for Jamie, but obviously she didn't reciprocate those feelings. So in retaliation, he wrote a horrible review of her performance as Juliet, even though everyone else thought she did a good job. So another thing too is they're kind of alluding that maybe Jamie and Johnny were reigniting their flame. And of course, Johnny is with Sophie, so that would lead to a motive of jealousy if she found out that they were indeed back together. Okay, and finally, the last known whereabouts. We know that the night before, Jamie was working on the sunset of the set background where we see the specks of paint on her shoe. And then of course during second period, Olivia was taking the typing class with Jamie and she tried to interact with her, but she seemed really bothered, not angry or sad, but just deep in thought, very quiet. And of course she tells Olivia after class that she had to take care of something in the newsroom. And she says it's not something I can talk about yet. So it's very likely that she did go to the newsroom and did fall out of the window. The question is, did she jump or was she pushed? I guess we'll have to see. Something I didn't write down here too was one of the items that was found on her is this bottle of poison. So from this evidence document, it was concluded that there was actually nothing in the bottle, definitely not poison. So most likely it was a prop from the school play, from Romeo and Juliet. So that begs the question, how did it get on her body? Would she have been carrying it or did somebody plant it? It would be pretty dumb to plant it too, because it's like, really? It's like a fake bottle of poison. And plus, if they were just going to push her out a window, I mean, what did that bottle of poison mean anyways? So again, my strongest lead is this whole thing about the caps lock kind of proves that Jamie didn't write it, which meant someone else had to have wrote it. So I'm just going to go off of that. If I get it wrong, then I'm probably going to take some hints. So objective 1, prove someone was in the room with Jamie. So now I have to go to this site. Can you prove Jamie wasn't alone? Use this form to verify your answer to objective 1. Which document on the list below proves Jamie was not alone when she fell? So I believe it's the picture of the computer screen with all caps, and then probably Olivia Underwood's statement about them taking the class together, which I believe was her witness statement. Right, so here's Olivia Underwood's witness statement in her interview, and it says that she and Amber Wheaton were the only ones that got 100 on the caps lock test. So we have witness statement, Olivia Underwood. Then we have crime scene photo, computer screen. Oh, okay. Usually asks you to pick 2, but I guess I only need 1. So that kind of gave me a hint because I'm not on the right track then. I don't think you can have one without the other. You would have to know that she did well on her caps lock test. It could also be Joey saying he left the room unlocked and he opened the window. That doesn't prove someone else was in there. Okay, I'm actually just not sure at all. I'm probably gonna take a hint. Let's just put the computer screen for now. Sorry, that's not the document we're looking for. Don't give up. We need to prove Jamie wasn't alone to reopen this case. Want a hint? Click the button below. Yes. Don't get distracted by all the suspects and their motives. Your objective is only to prove Jamie wasn't alone. Really? That's not a hint. Okay, let's just go to the next hint. It may help to look at the picture of Jamie's body on the pavement and how it matches up with other pieces of evidence in the case file. Is it the coroner report? The position of body, lying on back, leaning slightly on left side. That looks about right. Is it because her shoe is off? Would it be really difficult for her to fall and then the shoe land right next to her body? Is it the photo? Is it this? Let's try it. So that would be this one. Crime scene photo, deceased victim on ground. All right, here we go. Nope, it's not what we're looking for. Was it the clay that was found on her shoe? Was there any other mention about clay? I mean, the set production, does that have clay? Was someone in the pottery class? Was it from the track? Football team? Okay, I'm really stumped. I'm just gonna take the third hint. Do you have a magnifying glass? It might help you see a clue that shows up on security camera footage. Darn it. Okay, well, I guess the document is security camera footage. I guess I didn't really inspect this one really closely. So 10:10, 30 seconds, nothing. 10:10, 31. Looks very similar. Let me just drag this over. Oh, her shoe's on, right? Oh no, I don't know. It looks like she's missing her shoe. Nothing, nothing, and then probably when Romero comes. Ah, there's the shoe. No shoe. Shoe. But how did it get there? So there's 1 second where the shoe is not there, and then all of a sudden it's there. And this is before Robert comes. Do you see it falling? Oh, okay. Okay. So someone must have threw the shoe down, and it landed magically next to her foot. Why not just leave the shoe up there? It doesn't matter whether the shoe is with her. And I guess that's the shoe with clay on it. Okay, anyways, let's just pick this security camera footage. Ooh, looks like you're close. Which 2 frames are you looking at? Okay, so it's the one where the shoe was missing and then all of a sudden it's there. So 10, 10, 37 and then 10, 10, 38. Ready? Bingo! You solved objective 1. Not really. Someone must have been in the room with Jamie. I guess so, because they would have had to throw the shoe down, right? Yeah. Okay. You can now open envelope marked bonus envelope A. I was like halfway there. I noticed the shoe here. Just a really good throw to have it land right next to her foot. You discovered that Jamie's right shoe suddenly appeared in the frame between 10, 10, 37, 10, 10, 38. There's no likely explanation for a shoe to land 7 seconds after she landed unless someone was up there to throw it down after her. One of those suspects must be lying, but who? Anyways, I have bonus envelope A here. I'll just open this up and get it straight onto the computer. So here are the contents of bonus envelope A. We have objective 2, find the suspect who is lying. One of the 5 suspects lied about where they were on the day Jamie Banks died. Also, there was a small newspaper clipping and a letter from the National Foundation for Asthma Prevention. So we'll go ahead and just read the new documents. Maybe I'll start with the newspaper clipping. Jamie Banks died unexpectedly at East Verona High School Friday morning, November 20th, 1992, at the age of 18. She was the only child of Andy and Linda Banks of Verona, Massachusetts. Jamie was a senior at East Verona High, as well as a sweet, beautiful, kind young woman who will be missed by many. She was an investigative reporter for her high school newspaper, The Voice, and also a very talented actress, winning the role of Juliet in East Verona High School's production of Romeo and Juliet, which opened the night just before she died. So sad. Her funeral service will be held on Thursday morning at St. Joseph's Church, 17 Squire Street, Verona, Massachusetts at 10 a.m., followed by the rite of committal at Capulet Cemetery in East Verona. In lieu of flowers, please consider donating to the Foundation for Asthma Prevention. So this is the flip side, and it looks like it's not the same story. And I'll show you guys here that it was just one sheet and double-sided. Oh, so maybe they just clipped the front side and the back side is some random article. I'm just gonna skim through it, see if there's anything significant. Aladdin movie premiere. 1992. Okay, I don't think anything related. And then we have the letter, so I'll go ahead and read this. To the investigators responsible for reopening my daughter's case. First off, I am so grateful for your efforts in reopening Jamie's case. It means the world to me, especially now. You see, my husband just passed away last month, and he went to his grave thinking his only child may very well have committed S. Deep down, we had trouble wrapping our heads around both the police findings and what Dr. Gelding revealed about her mental state. We didn't even know she sought counseling. This just wasn't our Jamie. My husband loved her more than life itself, and the idea of Jamie taking her own life forever killed his spirit. But I take comfort in thinking that he now knows the truth, and I can't tell you the tears of joy as well as sorrow it brings me to know they are together again. Through God's grace, I hope to one day be reunited with them both. So many people were torn up by her death. At the gravesite just after her burial, I remember Paul Prickness falling to his knees and crying like a baby. It broke my heart. I didn't know what else to do but go over and hug him. He seemed like he wanted to tell me something that day, but he couldn't, and I never saw him again. I knew he meant a lot to Jamie, but I had no idea how attached he'd also been to her. I still see some of her classmates from time to time, and it tears open wounds that have never healed. After he was inducted into the Hall of Fame of Canton last week, Johnny Roca came back to town with Sophie and their children. I ran into them all at the park while walking the dog. Johnny Jr. had to help me to a bench because out of nowhere I broke down thinking about what Jamie's children might have been like. The hurt never goes away. Jamie's dad and I saw Olivia Underwood in an interview just a few weeks before he passed. She's a big Hollywood star now and was gushing about her first big break in a high school production of Romeo and Juliet. So many years have passed, but it still ripped us apart. We sobbed in each other's arms till we fell asleep that night. I beg you, please do not give up your efforts until justice is served. I included her obituary notice to remind you of the amazing young woman behind this unsolved case file. Our beautiful daughter is gone from this world forever, but her killer is still out there. Please don't give up until you solve the case. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Linda Banks. Okay, are we supposed to gather something from this letter? So Paul Preakness wanted to say something to her, but didn't get the chance. Johnny and Sophie ended up together and having children, and Olivia is a big movie star. So I'm pretty sure it's supposed to give me some more information. Does it not give me anything new? I have to find out who's lying based on what I already have? So does this letter mention all of these suspects? It mentions Dr. Gelding here, Paul Preakness, Johnny and Sophie, and Olivia. So on objective 2, it just says that someone lied about where they were the day she died. This probably won't go over that, so it probably is in the info I already have. So maybe we can just review what they say their alibis were. Sophie said that she was reading the school newspaper and found something really funny, so she spit up like soda all over her shirt and had to clean it on the first floor bathroom. Johnny says that he was with Sophie, accompanying her, also went into the girls' bathroom and they were making out. But when they both heard the scream, Sophie ran out to the body and Johnny apparently ran back to the gym to alert everybody. But Robert Romero also ran back to the gym, and Robert Romero made it first, even though Johnny should have been able to reach the gym first because he didn't stop at the body. I don't know, that might be, that could be something I'm just making up. Anyways, that's their alibis. Dr. Gelding said that he just went back to his office because he had to write letters of recommendation. Would you write letters of recommendation in November? I think so, right? That's when college applications are. Olivia said that she started feeling sick and wanted to vomit, so she went to the second floor girls' bathroom. And then Paul Preakness says that he was fixing the set. I believe the tower was broken. Could that have been a lie? So I did notice too that he said that Robert came by. Robert never mentioned stopping by. Robert said he went straight to the gym. So could that be it? Could that be the lie? Probably getting ahead of myself, but what would be his motive? Maybe they were the forbidden relationship and she wanted to break it off? The balcony where Romeo calls up to Juliet broke on opening night. On opening night. Didn't the newspaper say it was going to open that weekend? Oh, open the night just before she died. So this opening night is the day before she died, or the night before she died. So a lot of suspicion here, actually. This was one of my main ones, is that Robert says he goes straight to alert everybody at the gym, but Paul says he stops by. And this part too, the long silence. This seems like my strongest lead as far as someone who lied. The other people say they were somewhere, but just can't prove it. For Dr. Gelding, it is kind of corroborated by Craig. He says that he met with Dr. Gelding in second period, but at the start of third period, there's really no one who can confirm his whereabouts. Olivia too was by herself. Can't really prove that she wasn't sick. I mean, she seemed to be fine after the interview, but I mean, that's not really saying much. So for Johnny, I was wondering why he didn't go to the body as well. Apparently he went to go notify everybody. Yet Robert Romero was the one who made it to the principal and told all the teachers. Johnny says he snuck back, and then maybe he's the one who started spreading that Jamie fell. Because it mentioned that someone overheard someone say her name. I think it was one of the witnesses. I think it was Craig. Then I heard someone say her name. That could have been Johnny who ran back. Let me just make sure I have the timeline on everybody correctly. So for Sophie, they just finished up second period. For Johnny, we were headed to the gym. She was crying her face off about some stain. She asked me to wait outside. And then he met with Craig. When was this? I think it was during second. He had a session with Craig just before the pep rally. Sensitive intention. We talked in my office second period and made a plan for him to resolve the situation. We were done near the end of second period. Then near the end of second period, and then he says, yes, I didn't have any passes, had to walk him back. He wanted to get back to his office, but students in his class were really excited to show me what they were working on, begged me to come in and have a look. After I'd seen everything, the bell rang, students went to the pep rally. Olivia was in second period class with Jamie. After the bell rang, wanted to go to pep rally. And then it was the weirdest thing. As I was headed to the pep rally, I started feeling really sick. And then Paul Preakness doesn't mention anything about any periods. Just mentions that Robert came by. Okay, I am stuck. Think I need another hint. Oh my gosh. If I wasn't filming, I would just totally spend way more time, but don't have that luxury. Alright, so which suspect lied? Answer 3 questions to prove you know which of the 5 suspects lied about their whereabouts. Wow, how do I get a hint without trying to guess somebody? Oh, this is going to be kind of difficult to get a hint. I wish they gave a hint to lead you towards the suspect. I really have no choice. I'm just going to have to see which one it is. Well, if I was leaning towards someone, I guess it's Paul. He wanted to say something to the mom at the funeral. He was also very suspicious during the interview with the very long pause. He said Robert came to visit him even though he ran straight to the gym. But it doesn't prove he wasn't at the set. Okay, I don't know. I'm gonna guess him. If it's wrong, then I'm just gonna see who it is. Sorry, but you might be focused on the wrong suspect. Great. All right, let's get a hint. The liar was not female. Well, that leaves me with two more choices. That means it was Johnny or the doctor. Johnny was more suspicious to me than the doctor, I guess. I don't know, they both don't really have an alibi. I can't clear either one of them. But I don't know which one lied to, right? I'm just gonna go for hint number 2. Oh, okay. So it's the doctor. Should I just see what the third one is? Nah, I think I know by now. Okay, it's Dr. Benjamin Gelding. That's right. Question 2. Which of these items include Gelding's lie? Okay, I mean, at least I can zoom in on him now. So we have the witness statement by Craig Zimmerman, where he mentions he met with him during second period, Verona Voice newspaper, and then the interrogation with Dr. Gelding. Let's look at Craig Zimmerman first. So he was at the pep rally and then saw Robert Romero come running in. A few minutes later, he heard that someone jumped. Then they found out it was Jamie. He had to go talk to the principal because of the article he wrote. And then right here, I even met with Dr. Gelding second period before the pep rally. Okay, that checks out. He pulled me out of Miss Marston's class to talk about the review, and together we came up with a plan to try to fix the mistake. Gelding was always looking out for Jamie. It's too late, all I wanted was for her to give us a chance. Alright, so it's just that piece right there, I guess, that's related to Dr. Gelding. Next is the Verona Voice. So we have Craig's article. Probably not here. So we know that Dr. Gelding said he had to go back to his office to write recommendation letters. So maybe it could be something related to that. So they hosted a career day, enjoyed the opportunity to meet with local business professionals, college admission counselors, military recruiters. So that's what I was saying earlier. It kind of does make sense that he's writing recommendation letters because people are applying for college. Pottery. The clay. For the past month, the studio art classes have been testing the limits of the new pottery wheels. Their top work will be on display in the art studio classroom on Monday. Students and faculty are encouraged to vote for the best piece next week. Gold, silver, and bronze medal winners will receive 2 free passes to the MFA in Boston. Dang, I thought that was going to give me something because of the clay that was found on her shoe. Studio art classes. Does Dr. Gelding teach studio art? Okay, then we have Joey's article. I don't know if any of this relates to Dr. Gelding. All right, and then the updates here. Pep rally today. There will be a pep rally in the gym today to support the varsity football team on their championship quest tonight. Please come to the gym directly after second period and sit in the bleachers because we will also be taking an all-school picture. And then the smoking area, which I still couldn't believe there's smoking in high school. Early dismissal on Friday. Is it Friday? Was the death on the Friday? I guess so, right? You would have football games on Friday nights. Oh, right. To help students driving to the championship football game, Principal Dowling is releasing school 45 minutes early today at 2:15. Is it the early release? He said he wanted to write the recommendations so he can leave early for the football game. Wrestling team car wash. Support your Spartan grapplers this Saturday by getting a $2 car wash in the south parking lot between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. The team will be washing cars in their headgear and singlets. Ongoing maintenance. The 5th floor girls' bathroom will continue to be out of service for another week. According to Mr. Sampson, it should be fully functional by the end of next week. Okay, no one said they were on the 5th floor though. Holiday food drive. The Humanitarian Club is collecting canned goods and non-perishables for the needy. Please drop off your contributions in bins in the main lobby. All donations welcome, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then let's have the staff here. Looks fine. She has her preview. Okay, I mean, the only thing is this early dismissal. I don't know. Lastly, it's the interview of Dr. Gelding. So was he lying about anything in his interview? Is it this whole like hall pass thing? We had our weekly meeting after school yesterday. Oh, I brought my pad to write passes for anyone who wants to get out of study hall to work on articles. Oh, so that's when he could have written something for Joey, like Ferrari. Yeah. It says near the end of second period, and then he had to walk Craig back to class, and they wanted to show what they were working on. Is this the pottery class? It doesn't mention anything, but I'm still wondering about that clay. But how would it have gotten onto Jamie's shoe? Well, he would have been holding the shoe and then threw it out the window and somehow got clay on it. But again, I don't know. I don't know what class this is. Does Craig mention what class he was in? Mrs. Marston. Okay, so maybe something else says what class that was. We're looking for Marston. Can't find Miss Marston anywhere. Okay, at this point, I think I just had to take an educated guess. So I don't think any of his lies would be in Craig's statement. I don't see why it would be in the newspaper. If anything, his interrogation would have to have something that's contradictory. So by process of elimination, and this is definitely not satisfying, I want to figure it out, but I'm just gonna guess this. Oh, that's right. Oh, he was in the room all day? Oh, he hasn't been in the room all day. Is this just the assumption that he was in the room? We don't have proof that he was there. At least not yet. Dr. Gelling said he wasn't in the newspaper room all day. I mean, a lot of people are lying about stuff, and this is the lie. All right, let's see what the final question is. Which two items from this list prove that Gelding was in the newspaper room that day? The letter from Linda Banks and the obituaries in here. Does Dr. Gelding type with all caps? Okay, I don't see why it would be Craig's witness statement, his own witness statement, the principal's witness statement, or Joey's statement. Then we have the photo where the shoe was off, the newspaper room door, which just shows the chalkboard, and then the newspaper room window. The item is just that pen, the $100 bill, which we know came from Preakness, the keychain, which I'm guessing is her keychain, the Stop Hammer Time keychain. Is that Jamie's? I mean, it could be. And then the bottle of poison. I don't know how the doctor would be connected to that bottle of poison. I'm just gonna quickly look over the new documents. So from the new documents, the only thing I can gather relating to Dr. Gelding is that the parents were surprised to find out that she was receiving counseling. When I read that, I just thought it's common that kids don't want to share with their parents. But I was thinking if she was a minor, she would need the parents' consent, but I believe she was 18. Yeah, because right here it says that she was 18. So would she have needed to tell her parents that she was getting counseling? I don't think we have anything that's typed by Dr. Gelding to see if he uses all caps. The pressure was too much. I couldn't take it anymore. Goodbye, Jamie. I didn't think there was anything suspicious about the words themselves, like if there was typos or a particular way someone wrote. And then this photo, I still don't really see anything in this photo. Then we have this photo also. The only thing is this eraser mark. And of course the photo of Jamie. Let me check again which shoe had the clay. On the heel of the right shoe, there was a smudge of clay. If we can prove that Dr. Gelding had clay on his hands, then, we got him. The only hint I can think of is the class that he stopped by after dropping off Craig, and they wanted to show what they were working on. Miss Marston's class, but I cannot find her name anywhere. So if I just went off of that, it would be Craig's witness statement where he mentions Miss Marston as a second period teacher, and then Dr. Gelding's interview where he mentions dropping him off at that class and then them showing him stuff. So I'm just going to go with that. If it's wrong, probably got to take another hint. Wait a second. His interview is not even here. Maybe it's the one that mentions the smudge of clay. No, that evidence document's not even here. Am I reading way too into this clay business? All right, I really have no idea. I'm gonna take another educated guess here. I really wanted the computer screen to be something, but I'm gonna include Craig. And then, actually, I just had a thought. So remember in the letter from Linda Banks, it mentions they were surprised, but how would that place him in the room? Let me just look at his witness statement really quick. So it mentions that he was the guidance counselor for 4 years. But a school guidance counselor is different from like therapy, right? Oh, it says right here, Jamie has been meeting with me every few months over the past 2 years for manic depression. She was originally referred to me for this issue after she broke down in tears during a vocabulary quiz. That seems so unlikely. Okay, I don't know. Even if this is not true, it still doesn't place him in the room. Okay, I have no idea. I'm just gonna put something. I'm gonna put his witness statement and the letter. I don't know. Let's see. Unfortunately, those aren't either of the items we're looking for. Let's take a hint. Dr. Gelling left evidence that he was in the newspaper room the morning Jamie died. That is not a hint, unless it's telling me to look at the pictures. Okay, I'm just gonna take another hint. November 20th, 1992 was a very eventful day at East Verona High School. With the pep rally, Jamie's death, and the football game, it's easy to miss that a student saved someone's life. What? I am confused. Okay, something doesn't immediately come to my mind. I have no idea what this is talking about. Want one more hint? Yes. The first document you need is the picture of the newspaper room door with the story assignments on the chalkboard. Gelding says he wasn't in the room that morning, but he added a news story to the chalkboard that just happened that morning. The other document you need proves the news event happened the same morning. Oh, okay. So this is the line they're talking about. Dakota saves Samson? Oh. It is from the new documents. That whole backside that I thought was irrelevant. I'm guessing it's that. Wow. Oh my gosh. That was my fault for just ruling it out. But man, I would have never seen this. And here's that flip side, like the second half of an article. So it happened last week, just before school began early Friday morning. I guess I should have read that. His wife of 44 years, Mrs. Bertha Sampson, said she and her husband are eternally grateful for Dakota taking the time to learn CPR. I'd be a widow today if it weren't for his knowledge of what to do in such a situation. And I guess, yeah, he's the only one who wrote on this chalkboard. It's all the same writing. Did it say somewhere that he writes on the chalkboard or something? I don't know. You get all this information and then you're supposed to see one line in a picture. All right, so in this case, it's the obituary and newspaper room door. Okay, ready? Congratulations, you found the lie. You may now open bonus envelope B. Dr. Gelling said he wasn't in the newspaper room all day, but he added a news story to the newspaper room chalkboard that happened that morning. Dang. All right, let's move on. Okay, bonus envelope B. Do the same thing. We'll open it up, put it on the screen. Be right back. All right, we now have objective 3, convict the killer. In order to secure conviction of the killer, you'll need additional evidence that directly connects the suspect to the crime. When you know who the killer is and have found the evidence, go to the site. And then we just have one letter. So we'll go ahead and read this. It's from the principal, Janice Dowling. To whom it may concern, I wanted to personally and sincerely thank you for your work on the Jamie Banks case. I'm hoping your efforts will finally uncover what happened to that lovely young woman. It was so long ago. I believe Judy Marston and I are the only remaining faculty members who were also present on that dreadful day. Here's Miss Marston. I think I already pieced this together. I still remember it like it was yesterday. I've heard that you may be focusing your investigation on Dr. Gelding. You should know that immediately after Jamie was found dead, Dr. Gelding worked tirelessly by my side to help students and staff get through the senseless tragedy. I don't think any of us could have endured it without him. I recently asked Judy what she recalled about that day, and she shared a story about Dr. Gelling I thought you should hear since it happened moments before Jamie died. He had stopped into studio art class to drop off a student, and the class was bursting with excitement to show him what they had been working on. So I kind of pieced this together already, but here's the evidence. Despite being in a huge rush, he lovingly took the time with every student to praise their efforts right up until the bell rang. There's no way this caring man murdered a student mere moments later. I felt the need to reach out to you to share this anecdote and affirm that Dr. Gelling was always there for his students and they loved him. And you just incriminated him at the same time. I can attest to his incredible kindness and genuine caring nature for everyone at the school, as well as impeccable integrity and pristine record as our guidance counselor. It would definitely be a waste of your noble efforts to pursue Dr. Gelding. Better to focus on others so justice can be served for Jamie more quickly. But I suppose you're the expert. If I can help in any way, please let me know. Sincerely, Janice Dowling. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight to the website. Convicted killer. Okay, so which of these documents holds an important clue that directly connects the killer to Jamie? The evidence custody document. Ooh, and I guess I got that right. The smudge of clay, yep. Which of these documents tell us where the clay could come from? That is Craig Zimmerman, because he mentions Miss Marston. Wait, is it 2? Because I need to know what else is here. Sophie Sunday, no. Principal Dowling, no. Verona Voice, nope. Okay, ready? Oh, sorry, that's not what we're looking for. I'm not going to take a hint. Let me look at this again. Which of these documents tell us where the clay could come from? Oh, wait, why did I pick witness photo of Craig Zimmerman? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought this said witness statement. Verona Voice newspaper, right? Yeah, the pottery. Okay, so I got that right. Which of these 5 documents connects the killer to the clay on Jamie's foot? That would be the new letter from the principal. Okay. Ready? Yes. Moments before Jamie died, he stopped into her studio art class. Bingo. Here we go. Woo! I don't feel accomplished at all. I mean, at least I pieced that together, right? I knew something was up. I was looking all over for Miss Marston's name, and who would have known that I just didn't have it yet. Okay, you solved the case. The clay found on Jamie's shoe came from Dr. Gelding, who had just visited the art room. Great job, detective. You may now open bonus envelope C. I still don't even know what his motive would be. Like, we should have figured that out by now. Not just that he lied, but he should have a strong motive. Well, here's bonus envelope C. We'll go ahead and open it, and maybe they'll tell us the motive. All right, here are the contents of bonus envelope C. We have a witness statement form, another one from Joey Ferrari, and a voluntary statement from Dr. Gelding. So first I'll go and read Joey Ferrari's statement. After seeing the news reports about Jamie Banks and Dr. Gelding, I've decided to come forward with information I've withheld for decades about this case. I knew that Jamie and Gelding were having an affair, but I never told anyone. So that is a secret affair. Wow, nothing led to this. It happened when I was visiting Earl Sampson in the 5th floor bathroom a few days before Jamie died. I was near the window and heard the sounds of 2 people kissing near the window in the newsroom above. Oh, let me guess, he broke something in the 5th floor bathroom? You could tell there was a great passion because the kissing was quite loud, but I couldn't tell who it was until Gelding started describing the parts of his brain that were getting activated, and Jamie laughed. Wow. I kept my mouth shut because I think Jamie was about to write a story exposing my betting scam with Johnny, and I didn't want to draw any attention to myself. Yes, that's right. Johnny Roca and I cheated Verona out of thousands of dollars with a betting scheme I concocted. Yeah, I think we all knew that. Johnny could single-handedly control the games, but he refused to lose, so I got him to keep the scores close and we'd bet against the spread. It worked great until the championship when our team was only favored by 3 points. I wanted a sure win, so I talked him into throwing it completely and letting the Colts win by a landslide. It worked, and we cleaned up over $100,000 in cash. That cash would have really helped me in college. Too bad we took it to Atlantic City on Thanksgiving break. Wow. Okay, so this kind of came out of left field. Literally nothing alludes to this at all. So this information just gets thrown in at the end. Lovely. All right, let's read his statement. I murdered Jamie Banks on Friday, November 20th, 1992. As a mental health counselor familiar with impulse control disorders, I attribute my actions to a momentary suppression of the anterior angulates and the middle frontal gyrus triggered by a rush of, I can't even read because it's cursive, from my adrenaline glands. In other words, I freaked out. But scientific understanding hasn't been able to reduce the shame I've endured through the years. Perhaps a full confession today will. So what did Mr. Preakness want to say at the funeral? Maybe we'll see. Jamie didn't write a note, and she wasn't bipolar. Jamie and I were having an affair. She was attracted to my intellect and wisdom. It started one day about a month before she died. She just leaned in and kissed me. I knew it was wrong, but our passion for each other burned like a wildfire. Guilt chased me like a dark cloud, but still, I could not resist. But eventually I knew I had to end it before someone got hurt, so I asked her to meet me in the newspaper room in order to break up with her when everyone else was at the pep rally. Oh, so it was an accident? While waiting for Jamie in the newspaper room, I updated our article list for next week with something that happened that morning, and that's how investigators eventually proved I was lying about not being in the room that day. I thought Jamie would understand why I needed to end our relationship. I was wrong. Instead, she threatened to publish it in the Verona voice and shouted, "I want the whole world to know. I'll scream it out this window. We'll finally have nothing to hide." She was about to destroy my life. I like Jamie a lot, but I love my family, and when my automatic fight or flight response kicked in, I rushed toward her and shoved her right out the window. I gasped as I watched her body fall to the pavement below. Then I realized I'd stepped on the heel of her shoe when I pushed her, and it was still stuck under my foot. I panicked and I threw it down after her. I told police Jamie had ideations to provide closure for the family and make it easier for them to shut down the case. Wow. An individual with my skills and abilities shouldn't waste away in prison over an accident. And if it hadn't been for my chalkboard revision and a tour through the art studio, I would have gotten away with it. Wow. Feel bad much? Alright, well, let's end it with the video.
The Verona community is in shock today over a chilling murder confession of former high school guidance counsellor Dr. Benjamin Gelding. We now go to Ali, who is live at East Verona High School.
Thank you, Seb. Dr. Benjamin Gelding worked as a guidance counselor here at East Verona High School for over 35 years until retiring in 2015. Earlier today, he confessed to pushing a student out of the 6th floor window of the school on November 20th, 1992. According to Verona PD, Gelding was having an affair with the student and pushed her out of the window when she threatened to go public about their relationship. Dr. Gelding also covered up the crime by creating a fake suicide note and lying to police about the victim's past history of suicidal thoughts. For more information about that investigation, I'll turn it over to Ron, live from the Verona police station.
Thanks, Allie. Ms. Banks' death was originally ruled a suicide by Verona police detectives, but was recently reopened due to new information provided by an independent investigator who was able to prove Ms. Banks was not alone when she fell from the window, and proved Dr. Gelding lied about his whereabouts on the day of the murder. Currently in his 70s, Dr. Gelding is facing multiple charges and is expected to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Back to you in the studio, Seb.
Thanks, Ron. We'll have more information on this story as it develops. And after the break, we have exclusive interviews about the Johnny Rocker High School football betting scandal. We'll hear from 2 of his former teammates, Emmanuel Russell and James Lowe. Stay tuned.
Alright, that was the case of Jamie Banks. Not my greatest work, although I would say it was kind of weird just not really having any strong motive. I would say it's not really driven by the story. It's like these little gotchas that they slip in there. I think you have to have a lot of experience with unsolved case files, which I thought I did, to catch what kind of things they do to hide stuff. But regardless, the game is the game. So if you want to see me do more cases, don't forget to give this video a like. It tells me you want to see more unsolved case files. And of course, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one.